From Philadelphia, the city that pulsates with the beat and the rhythms of yesterday and today, it's time for the Geator with the heater, the boss with the hot sauce, Jerry Blavin.
60 seconds make 1 minute, 60 minutes make 1 hour, 24 hours make 1 day, and out of that 24 hours, 2.5 hours are dedicated by the young teenager to the hippest show on the radio. So without further ado, let's carry on through now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
Young teenager, gather round. To the sound I'm a putting back.
Happy New Year. Yes, it's the new year. And you know what I feel. I want to wish you and your family a healthy and a happy new year. And more important, let's forget the old year and let's go into this new year with hope that this new year will bring good health, not only to the world, but to the universe. And let's again hope that we all become one with what it is supposed to be. And on my show today, I want to pay tribute to Philadelphia. If you've been watching when we did the shows with Frankie Avalon and Bobby Rydell, and we did the shows with Gene Chandler out of Chicago, we did the shows with the Shy Lights, we did it with Dion Moore, Frankie Valli, and of course, indeed, with Gary U.S. Bonds, Mary Wilson, and how about the show with Kenny Gamble, where he spoke about the Philly sound. And back then, if you watched it, I spoke about the fact that Philly International came in the 70s, the latter part of the 60s. But in the 50s, Philadelphia was the spot with the groups. The first group, as you might remember, Lee Andrews and the Hearts, Long, Long, Lonely Nights, Teardrops. Then there was a guy called Georgie Grant and the Castells, My Girl Awaits Me. And then you had Yvonne Baker and the Sensations. And then you had the 4Js. And then you had a group called the Tymes. So it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to present the true outstanding members who created the sound of the Tymes. It's my dear friend, Norman. Hello, hey, Norman.
Hello. Hey, Gerald. How you doing? I'm the one to call you Gerald. I call you Gerald.
And my dearest friend, Al Berry, otherwise known as Caesar.
Hey, my man. How you doing?
Terrific, pal.
Thank you for having us.
Listen, it's so good to have you guys on because I have so many thoughts because we go back to the very, very beginning when you were called the Latineers.
Right. I made that name up.
Why?
Because back in the day, there was the Dan Lears. It was always a Lear on the end of something, you know.
Very good. The Dan Lears, one summer night.
That's right.
One summer night, right.
That's right.
Now, but you know, you guys were the original members back then, and I'm going back with George, and I'm going with our guys up in heaven, Donald. Right,
yeah, right.
The old man. Remember I say, old man, sir.
Yeah.
Donald Banks, right?
Yeah.
You guys started what, 1955, 56?
No. I went to camp. I was at a camp called College Settlement Camp in Willow Grove, and I met George Hilliard at the camp. That was in 56.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went there for a while, for like 2 weeks, and they had talent shows like on every Saturday night. So we just got a group together. And we won every weekend. We won.
Right.
So before we left the camp, they said, "You still want to keep this going?" I said, "Yeah." That's how we started. From then on.
How did you get my man Caesar?
Well, C can tell you that. We went to school together.
Really?
Yeah.
Caesar, you guys went to
together.
school?
See, it's kind of cloudy how we all got together. See, we was in and out, intertwining different people and stuff like that. And C came in. Oh, C, did you come in because of Don?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because of Donald. Because you had Donald. Donald was in the group, and George Hilliard was in the group, and with the bass, the other fella,
Sam Redding.
Sam Redding.
Redding.
Right. And he left. And when Norman called me up and he asked me, did I want to join a group? And I said, yeah, okay. I don't know how great I could sing, but I was going to give it a shot.
So now you cast to the Latineers.
Right.
Okay? How did you change to the Tymes? Whose idea was that?
Bernie Lowe.
Bernie Lowe.
Bernie Lowe.
Now let me explain to the people who are watching about Bernie Lowe.
Yeah.
We talk about Bernie Lowe. Bernie Lowe was a piano player and worked on the Paul Whiteman show. And he was in partners, as I said, with Kenny Gamble, with Bob Horn, who had a record label called Sound and Teen.
Right.
When Bob Horn lost Bandstand and Dick Clark came in, what happened, Dick Clark got involved with Bernie Lowe. They changed the name from Sound and Teen to Cameo Parkway. It was Bernie Lowe, Dave Apple, and Cal Mann. Now, the interesting thing is that the Tymes did not record on Cameo. They recorded on Parkway, right, guys?
Right.
Now, I want you to do this.
You want us to sing?
Yeah.
As we stroll along together. Actually, I was first singer. I wasn't the lead singer.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was basically a cappella.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But whose idea was to do this?
I think it might have been Billy Jackson.
Might have
been Billy Jackson.
Okay.
And
let me tell you
something about
the audience who Billy Jackson was. Billy Jackson had a group called the Rebels.
Right.
And had a big song in the 50s called Midnight Stroll.
Right.
All right.
Cha Cha Tony.
Yep. And he became involved with the recording industry after the group broke up, and he got you guys together, right?
Right.
We went down to audition for Cameo Parkway. First, we auditioned for Johnny Madera and Dave White. Remember?
Yeah.
Down on Fairmount Avenue. And
Right.
I got to tell you something. Kenny Gamble, when we did the interview with Kenny, that name Johnny Madera and Dave White was paramount, as was the name Jerry Ross.
Jerry Ross.
Jerry Ross. Right.
Cat Fires and all that stuff. And Johnny Madera, beside dating the Juniors, had a wonderful female singer called Maureen Gray.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember Maureen. Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Today's the day that you're gone away.
Well, you're bringing back a whole lot of stuff. Oh, wow.
You're like an encyclopedia, man.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if you know this, Jerry. I don't want to take the whole program, but let me say it. When happened, the Tip Top talent hunt about the bread thing. That's how we got discovered. We didn't get discovered. By that really. What happened? That you go to the State Theater, with the State Theater, or is on 52nd Street. You go out there and you record the song you want to do, and what they do is play it on the radio the next day or the next couple of days, and you send your Tip Top bread labels in.
Right.
We were Jerry. We were horrible.
It was terrible.
It was terrible. We were terrible. So what happened? So I left. Everybody left. C hung around. So C went to what was his name? I forgot his name. He played piano.
Roy Stragens?
No.
Leon Huff?
No, I knew him very well. I can't think of his name, but he was a piano player for Cameo Park. We did different.
Okay, yeah. It was Dave Apple.
Dave Apple,
Cal Mann, Bernie Lowe was playing piano also.
This guy, I can't think of his name. I got a moment going. But let me say that. Wait. So Caesar said, "You know any place we can go to get a recording contract?"
Right.
We were so bad. He just said, here, take this number and go down. Nonchalantly. So we went down, rehearsed we auditioned in front of Billy Jackson.
Right.
Billy wouldn't let me sing my song, but that's all right. That's okay. So we did So Much in Love. We did some other songs that were original. So he said, "We'll call you." The old thing, "We'll call you, don't you call us." So weeks went by, and so C was getting impatient, very impatient. He called down there and said, "Hey man, what's going on?" And Billy said, "We've been looking. they threw the number away. They threw the number away.
Right.
But when Bernie heard So Much in Love, it was like, we got to get these guys in, you know.
So they lost the phone number.
Yeah,
and when they heard it, they
Yeah.
didn't reach these guys.
Hey, Jerry, I got one story, one quickie. I was working at Philadelphia General Hospital at the time, and I was in the kitchen, right? And when our audition tape came up on the radio at the Tip Top Talent Hunt, I took my boom box, everything in there, put it down at the table at lunchtime, and when it came on, it sounded so bad, I got up and snuck out. But then when So Much in Love came out, when I walked in and the song, hey man, you hear that record by the Tymes? I said no. I didn't hear, because I didn't think they would say, oh, that's not you. You know what I'm saying? I knew that was unbelievable. They said, no, that's not that. You don't sing with that group. You know?
Listen, but give me how did the name from the Latineers go into the Times?
Bernie Lowe came up with that. Bernie Lowe came up with that. Really, and that was you know, at the time, you know, and that sort of still stumps
so
me.
Bernie did it. Bernie did it.
Right.
You know, I don't know if the audience realized it, but you know it. That song, So Much in Love, was #1 in America and #1 in the UK.
Yeah.
Right.
Time.
Right.
We knocked the Beatles out. I think
You beat the Beatles out.
That's right.
Yeah, we were lucky, man. We were lucky because we went, you know, the first time in a recording studio, we auditioned, we sang about 10 or 12 a cappella tunes. Yeah. And that was the one they picked. And when it happened, we did an upbeat. We did it with the orchestra.
Bossa Nova.
Yeah,
at that time they called Bossa Nova.
And then Bernie Lowe, he said, man, the guy's harmony is so good. Why don't we just take out all the music? And so that we had Roy Stratus on the piano. Yeah. I forgot who played bass, and I was doing the finger snap. And Billy put the birds in, and I said that was going to be our first bomb. I really did.
Well, but you set a pattern. We talked about the early groups with Lee Andrews and the Hearts. That was a certain harmony.
Right.
We talk about the Gaynors with Garnett Mims, a certain harmony. You talk about the Sensations, Let Me In, Please Mr. Disc Jockey, a certain harmony. Your harmony was unique in as much as it represented the material. Next song you did, Wonderful, Wonderful, which was the Johnny Mathis song.
Right.
Your harmony was completely different than the other groups from Philadelphia. Now, who developed that?
Well,
we just had the voices, just the voices.
Yeah,
we had see, Caesar got a unique tenor. He got a tenor. So you like, we do a lot of background work. We did Lynn Barry's 1, 2, 3, all his songs with Joey Heatherton, Chubby Checker, Dee Dee Sharp, and you can tell who's who and doing what.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Now, you know, it's funny because you talked about Chubby.
Yeah,
Chubby recorded on Parkway, not Cameo.
Right.
Bobby Rydell recorded on Cameo.
Right.
Orleans recorded on Cameo.
Right.
You recorded on Parkway. The Dovells recorded on Parkway, if you remember back then. And I'm going to give you a song that the audience will remember. Billy Abbott
and the Jewels.
Groovy Baby.
Let me do a little bit.
Once I had a love, groovy baby.
That's right.
Go ahead, keep on going.
You know what's funny about that though? We did the background on the record, but then when we went back as guests of the Tip Top Talent Hunt, because we were recording artists then, Billy Abbott and the Jewels were there. And they had to come out on stage to sing the song. You know what I mean? And it didn't go over too well. So they had us backstage doing the background.
But wait, didn't you cats also do some background for Johnny Maestro?
Yeah. I'll be true. I'll be true.
Yes, I'll be true. Darling, I'll be true.
Wow. Listen, the Orleans had it, but when you cats did it with Johnny Maestro, it was Maestro, in my opinion, guys. Was just a magnificent talent.
Oh, he was a good guy. But let me tell you, he always said to me, we did shows with him a lot, and he would say, Norm, you have to do the background on that song, but he never got a chance to do it because his show was already set, and he wanted to throw that in just to show who did the background on I'll Be True, and then we lost him, so it was enough.
You know who else? You know who else was on that record too? Brother from the Blue Notes. He did that high tenor. He was on that.
Now that's
My Hero.
Yeah. Now that's another group that I forgot to mention.
Right.
Going back to the beginning, the Blue Notes with My Hero, She's Mine, and If You Love Me, For you people watching this is a history of Philadelphia that nobody really knows, except if you lived here in the early days. And in the early days, WIBG or WFIL, they were not playing this music. It was rhythm and blues. It was WHAT. It was WDAS back then. It was Lloyd Fatman. It was Jocko. It was Georgie Woods.
Right.
Remember Lord Fauntleroy and Jimmy Bishop and all those cats.
Yeah.
Tell me the wonderful memories of that.
Right. But we were so unique too, man. When we first hit the scene, we did a show with Harvey Holiday at the Schubert Theater. And I have to say, everybody thought we was a Caucasian group for some odd reason.
Because of the sound.
Because of the sound.
That's we would go. Your sound was different than all the other cats we mentioned.
Right. And we would go into the dressing rooms and we were sitting there and they would come in at the Tymes here because they thought that we were bringing in the clothes for the group. And we said, no, they'll be here shortly, blah, blah, blah. We walked down stage, Harvey Holiday looked at us. He said, who are you guys? I said, we're the Tymes. He said, I thought you guys were white. That's just what you said.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa. Ruby of the Romantics, she thought you were too.
Ruby of the Romantics. I've talked to her a couple of weeks ago too. Yeah.
How's she doing? How's Ruby doing, man? Ruby Andrews.
She's doing fine. She's doing okay, man. She comes out once in a while, doesn't like guest appearances, but I call her all the time on her birthday, et cetera, et cetera. And the last couple of weeks ago was her birthday and I called her. We talk all the time. Yeah.
When we talk about Philadelphia being so unique, I think about this all the time. What would have happened with so many of these great talents out of Philadelphia if Dick Clark did not have Bandstand?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Think of that, John. Think of that, Caesar. Because what happened is when Dick Clark went national, all these wonderful artists like the Tymes, like Chubby, like Rydell, like Avalon became national stars. And for you people out there, Bandstand was not Dick Clark's show at the beginning. We talked about it was Bob Horn's show.
Bob Horn, right.
1952 to 56.
Right,
and when he lost the show, Dick took it over. And I've always thought of this in my mind. I loved Bob Horn. My beginning in show business was on Bandstand, being the committee head, meeting Sammy Davis and Joni James and Della Reese and J.P. Morgan and the Four Aces and the Four Lads. That's when pop music was the thing.
Right.
If you remember when you kids were growing up, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
He could have never done, and I love the man, what Dick Clark did, because Dick Clark had that young American look.
Right.
Pat Boone square look. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah.
But he took our music to a different level.
Right. And the Bandstand was like the top of the pops over in England. When you did Bandstand, it went all nationwide. When you did Top of the Pops in the UK, it went all over. And you were a star. Once you did them shows, you were gone. That's it. And Dick Clark, I had to give him a lot of credit for helping, keeping us keeping us alive, man. And, and then when you come along, you could come to Geator, he put something underneath us too, my man. I had to give you the credit, man.
Well, listen, I've been blessed because I've had the freedom to play what I want to play. IBG and FIL, if it wasn't on the list, they only played 40 records. And if it weren't for the fact that Jocko or myself or the other black cats were playing this music, and the record stores were getting calls, and the white kids were going in buying your records, it would have never happened. So when they got the calls, WIBG and FIL could not ignore your music, man.
Right. Now, I remember, I remember those days down, those weekends down in Margate too. We used to come down there all the time. They were the days, man.
Memories, yeah.
You know, but listen, talking about shows, how about when you guys did the Kimmel Center with me, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did it quite a few times with you. We did it quite a few times.
40-piece orchestra, man.
Yeah. It was
And
nice.
that had to be one of the highlights.
Yeah.
Because groups back then did not have the opportunity. When you guys were working, you went out with maybe bass, drum, and guitar.
Right. You had a
whole orchestra. You see.
Right. You had the whole orchestra, man. That was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's a great feeling here to all that. Yeah.
Hey, Norm and Caesar, you were booked to do a show in 1963.
Oh.
Tell the audience about that show. It was canceled. Why was it canceled?
63.
Which show was that?
When we on Dick Clark tour?
Yes.
Yeah, right. When President Kennedy was assassinated.
Yes.
We were there that day. Right. We were there that day. We rode in on the bus, and when it happened, when he came into town, Gene Pitney knocked on my door, and he said, "Hey, man," he said, "let's go down there and watch the president come in," because he was coming to the hotel where we were staying, I think. And right across the street was Jack Ruby's club. So Gene Pitney and I, we were on our way down, and the lady said, "Well, hey man, there's something happening in the street." So we looked at it and said, "Well, the president just got assassinated," And he looked at us like, "Yeah, right," But then after they found out, it was like, whoa. And George, lead singer, our lead singer George got sick that day.
Oh.
We had to take him to the hospital. We went to the same emergency room, everything that night, and Norman Burnett took over the lead.
Yeah.
You took over the big lead, and
he was rehearsing behind the bus.
Listen,
Let me tell you something. I was ready. I thought I was ready. I wasn't really ready. When I would forget the words, you still "I love you" in there. Always clears up any word you forget.
I love you. He used to forget the words of the song. He would get to say, baby, baby, baby.
Hey, who were some of the cats that you worked with on the tours? They are. I mean,
wow.
Sam Cooke,
Yeah.
Bobby Blue Bland. Wow.
Lil Willie John.
Lil Willie John.
Oh,
Dick Clark's tour, it was like the Orleans.
Yeah.
See, I got who else see? Name some other people. Dick and Dee Dee.
Dick and right.
Dale and Grace. These are
Novels.
Novels.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The Chiffon, the Crystals.
yeah.
I mean, it was so many.
They were fun tours too, man.
Barbara Lewis, all of them. Yeah,
Barbara Lewis. Yeah. We met a lot of them.
Let me ask you this question. Knowing Norman as I know Norman sees it, was he the lover when you guys were doing the tours with all the girls, the one-nighters?
I'd rather not say.
Well, Norman, I've heard some stories about you.
Well, they're all good. I know they're all good. I know they're all good. Let me tell you this one story about. I tell Sam Cooke. We was on Sam Cooke tour. At the end of his show, having a party, have somebody come out from each act. If you're a single act, you go up there. If you're a group, you send somebody out. I went out there scared and something. But anyway, I went out there and he sang "Having a Party." So he took the mic and he swung it up in the air for me to catch it. And I seen it out the side of my corner of my eye, and just before it hit the ground, bam. Having a party, and he said, It was crazy. That's where it was back then today.
We mentioned the name Little Willie John.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was a crazy guy.
He was deep.
If you eating on the bus, he come and say, "What you eating?" and take it from you.
He came on the bus. We were in Texas, and he came on the bus. He had just came from the liquor store. And they had what they call a Texas gallon. It was tall as he was.
Yeah. You've seen that before, Jerry. They're real tall. It's yellow. It's in a yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow drink. The colors, yeah.
Yeah, as tall as he was.
Yeah.
Tall. He was
bottom.
only 5 foot something.
Yeah, at his bottom. And then he said, well, hold the bottom of this. I said, hold the bottom for what? And I'm holding up the bottom, and he's sitting down in the chair, and he got it was a giant bottle of wine, man.
Hey, Norman.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about Sam Cooke. Did you guys ever realize how talented he really was, other than being?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good talent. He was great, man.
He was
really
a nice
good.
guy, but he didn't travel with us on the bus. He had a Jaguar.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
He would drive the Jaguar. I got one story I got to tell. We got to the hotel before everybody else. We was flying a lot of times until we ran out of money. You know, so we fly and we get to the hotel early. So we got there, we walking in, they say, hey, y'all with the tour? I said, yeah. So we go, we getting ready, they pull the book out, we getting ready to sign our name. All of a sudden, the people came through the door, the tour, and they looked at them, looked at us, and pulled the book away. So we said, oh. He said, well, and when they get their room, you get your room. You know what happened. Wasn't a room in sight. With no room. But wait a minute. That night we went out. So see, we walking by the motel. So she see this electrical box outside the hotel. So she said, He said, he pulled the day. He said, you better run, Norm. The whole corner got black. Everybody, hey, people running out the hotel room, and they're, what's going on? What's going on? Boy, we were running down the street, but some funny things happened. That was crazy. We got them back. We turned the lights out.
But that's when we did the chitlin circuit, you call it.
Yeah. Well, you know, guys, in Philadelphia, the chitlin circuit would be Showboat, okay, Peps, the Busto, back in those days, you know.
Right.
Mr. Silks.
Yeah.
Man, Mr. Silks with Gus Lacey. You remember Gus Lacey?
Oh yeah.
Man, you know, for the people watching this thing, there are so many thoughts when we talk about how great Philadelphia had a nightlife, which was the greatest, man, if you remember back then. You had the Latin for all of the big stars, and you had Chubbies for the medium stars over there. Then you had Scioli's. Did you guys ever work Scioli's?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the Reddest hi-hat over in Jersey.
Right.
The Reddest hi-hat.
We talked about the Fantasy Lounge with Kenny.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the music though right now.
Okay.
Wonderful, Wonderful is the second song.
Right.
Johnny Mathis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after Somewhere, Somewhere.
Yes.
Let me hear you sing that little.
Somewhere my love waits for me. Somewhere beyond the sky and sea.
Okay, no more.
Okay.
We
got charging in after that, you know.
Now we're talking about early 60s. We're talking about, and big in England, as I said, big in England. As a matter of fact, Northern Soul, that's the big thing today in England. You know?
Right.
And your song, Miss Grace.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Number
Monster.
one, United
Monster over there. We got a gold record behind that too, you know, over there.
Yeah,
we was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We toured there, man. I was really surprised when it happened. We first went there. They were playing our record, People, I think it was, out. And they called me up in the hotel and they said, hey, man, we've been listening to your album and we heard a song in there, Miss Grace, and we wondered if we could start playing it. And I said, well, you better call up the record company because I didn't want to give any permission to do something like that because I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. So we were over there for about 3 weeks and all. Then we came home. Yeah. And next thing we know, man, we get a call saying your record's #1 in Europe. I said, get out of here. And we got the gold record for it over there, man. And we were over there, man. We toured with Bill Anthony, a whole bunch of people over there.
You know, isn't this strange, guys, that when the English invasion came into this country, it wiped out so many of the great American artists.
Yeah,
right. The radio was just playing English.
Right.
English.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the black cats, like for the rest of the cats, man, playing the deal, nobody would have got a shot.
Yeah,
and the only ones that really survived big were the Four Seasons, the Motown sound and the Beach Boys sound. But the interesting thing is when the English hit here, our music in England and in Europe became bigger there than it was here.
Right. You're right.
Correct. And man, when you go over there, man, it's like, how can I say, it's a whole different world for acts that leave the United States. I mean, you can't even walk down the streets.
Yeah.
You know, they're sitting outside the hotel waiting for you for autographs and stuff like that, you know, and you have to have an escort to go to the drugstore or something. And it's really something.
The chemist.
That's right, the chemist.
You don't want to tell nobody going to drugstore.
They're the chemists, man. They treat you a whole lot different over there. It really is, you know.
Yeah, Dionne Warwick, you know, who we love in Brazil, she is the Barbra Streisand.
Right.
Brazilians, because of the music. The Burt Bacharach things that she did. So the uniqueness of an artist carries on their career, even if you don't have a hit record. I mean, look at you cats. You're still working. You're still doing what you do. I mean, from early 60s, then there was a brief period. You started your own label, Winchester.
Yeah, Winchester. Yeah. We This Time Is Love. This Time Is Love on it.
Right, which is
Winchester.
And the other side. Tell them the other side.
What's the other side?
These Foolish Things.
Oh, these foolish things. Yeah. But you know, you ever listen to the other side of So Much in Love?
Yeah, listen. You guys were with me on the TV show in Wildwood when we did Little Richard. I don't know if you remember that. It was a lunchtime show. Little Richard said, "Oh, I want to do that in my act." I said, "You have to talk to the guys if you want to."
Okay.
The Roscoe James McClain?
Yeah.
Really?
Get out of here.
Do you know that Jimi Hendrix was with Little Richard's band?
Right, the guitar player.
We met him overseas.
Preston F. And all that, you know.
We partied with Jimi Hendrix. We partied with him at the place called the Speakeasy.
His birthday party.
In London.
In London.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Well, we got some stories. Yeah, we got some stories, but we ain't got no time.
How important was Billy Jackson in your career? I explained that Billy was, as I said, the Ravel's Midnight Stroll.
Yeah. Well, he was very important because we wouldn't have got what we got if it wasn't for him. He was pushing for us, you know.
Really.
It was a few rocky points there as the years went on, you know, but we got back together and ironed things out. But he's the main one that got us out where we got to go. We had to go.
Yeah, because him and I, we had our problems, him and I. But I always admired Billy because he was a great producer. Believe me, he came up with some stuff, ideas, studio wise and recording wise, and I said, wow, you know, and he would give me a lot of credit. But you know, I always wanted to be the type of guy. I want to produce. He said, you can't produce. But his words, I let the man do what he's supposed to do. But I learned a lot from him. I put it like that. He's very.
You know, the Billy Jackson, I made him my producer for the TV show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
And the musicians, Vince Montana, Roy Strages, Roland Chambers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy Savitt.
Right.
I mean, these were the real studio musicians that were my guys back then. You know, who were the guys that worked on, other than Roy Strages, who were the guys that worked on the early things with you guys?
Richard Rome.
Yeah. He was my musical conductor.
Yeah, he just passed away.
He did the arrangement for Miss Grace. Richie did.
Yeah. He just passed away. You know, he just passed.
Yeah, Jimmy Wisner.
Yeah.
Great. These are great musicians and talented people to put this all together. Now, let me go. How did you get hooked up? You got your label, then you wind up with RCA, which one of my great songs they love dancing to, Little Trust Maker.
Billy got that. Billy worked that out. Jackson. Yeah, Billy Jackson. So on him, he got us all the labels we had to go to. Went to RCA Victor, Columbia, and MGM. We was on all those labels.
Do you know that Kenny had an opportunity, by the way, to record you guys?
Right.
You know that.
Right.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
But what had happened? I think Billy went to him with a lot of demos on us. They were unfinished and stuff, and they put us down. But then we heard in the background that they were looking for a certain sound. And Tommy Bell, he said, "You guys sing too pretty." I said, "Sing too pretty?" I thought that's what it was all about. But they were looking for a certain sound. They had the OJs come in, et cetera, and they had different songs with them. But George was too pretty for him, I think.
Well, Tom Belch played piano for us, Jerry. Tom Belch played piano for us.
He played Gamble and the Remios.
Yeah. But, it's what I said when we were talking at the beginning. Your sound was unique compared to classics. Look at this. Look when you did People.
Right.
Right. I mean, that is a classic. That and So Much in Love and So Somewhere are the real sound of what the Tymes was about. But when you did a little Trust Maker with that boom, 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 boom,
the disco era.
That unity, man. You still had that sound.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We try to keep it together. Try to keep it together. But and one thing too, Ray Dunn and Cliff, his brother, the Dream Lovers, used to live next door to me before I started singing. And when Ray was coming home from overseas on the transport, bringing himself home, he heard So Much in Love, and he said, "Who are them guys?" But he didn't know it was me. You know what I'm saying? He said, he heard that song, man. He said he went off when he heard it. He said that was one of the greatest songs he heard. He's on the ship coming home, And
now, you're talking about the Dream Lovers. I mean, one of the early groups again. When we get married, you gave somebody to love, and there again is Jerry Ross.
Jerry Ross,
so you got Billy Jackson, you got a Jerry Ross, you got a Kenny Gamble, you got a Leon Huff, all a part of the mix of Philadelphia. How about the Intruders with Little Sonny and Big Sis?
Right.
Yeah.
We have some good talent come out of Philadelphia, man. It's and I'm glad for people like you and DJs here in Philly that keep playing the stuff, man. We really appreciate that, keeping the music alive. Because it helps a lot. Believe me.
I'm a backtrack.
We made a good show together.
I'm a backtrack for a minute. We begin of the thing. So much when we did So Much Love at the audition for Billy, and they threw our number away. I think it was High Lit was trying to get Bernie Lowe to give that song to Lee Andrews.
Lee Andrews, right.
And Billy said, no, we still got to try to find these guys. They tried to give it to Lee Andrews.
You just said something. There was a reason why. High Lit took music credit for a song called Long, Long, Lonely Nights.
Right.
And he was managing Lee. So he wanted Bernie Lowe to give So Much Love to Lee Andrews.
Right.
Wow.
Right. We said we can't record it, nobody gonna record it.
That's right.
Well, so I imagine back day in the politics when I started to So Much in Love, High Lit didn't want to play it. But he had to play it because it's a hit.
Right. That's right.
And you remember Lee Andrews came out with a song similar to So Much in Love later on. Similar to it.
Wow. I think of Lee, you guys worked with me. We worked at Kimmel. We worked so many shows together. And I said to Lee, Lee, I want you to do the Kimmel show with me. He said, Geator, I'm fed up, man. I'm done. He said, I never made any money. He said, when you booked me and things, he said, all the songs that I made, I never got anything. They took and he said, today it's, well, you guys you get your royalties, but for the people out there, the artists, when they recorded back in the day, it wasn't the money that they thought they were going to get. They made the money from the personal appearances.
Yes, that's where you made the money. That's right. That's right.
That's it. That's it. It's around kind of rough now.
well, you know who Lee Andrews' son is, don't you, Jerry? You know who he is, don't you?
What?
You know who Lee Andrews' son is.
Oh yeah, but the drummer, my man.
Questlove. Yeah.
And and make a long funny thing. He was on one of our first recordings on our albums. Remember? Hey, Daddy, who's that lady? Lady of the Night. We did a song called Lady of the Night, and he was about 10 or 12 years old, I think, and he recited some words on there.
We talked about the Philly groups, but tell me influences for you guys from the other groups. I mean, Chicago, you had the Dells, you had the Spaniels, you had the Moonglows, and then in Cincinnati and Cleveland, around that area, in Detroit, you had Nolan Strong and the Diablos.
Right.
And then New York, you had the Paragons, you had the Jesters, you had Little Anthony. You can go on and on. The early influences for you guys that you listened to when you were growing up.
It was the Five Satins for me.
Okay.
The Five Satins.
Out of Connecticut.
And myself with the Flamingos.
Wait a minute. I ain't finished yet. See,
I'm sorry.
And Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. If it weren't for Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, I wouldn't be out here today.
That's the truth.
And I told Jimmy that. I said, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here now. Extreme.
Now, hold on.
I was in Wildwood at the time.
I'm going to ask Norm, what about Earl Lewis and the Channels?
More like them too, yeah.
How closer you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you another group now. Listen very carefully.
Yeah.
Tones.
Oh, little girl, love mine.
Oh, little girl.
He just passed away too, didn't he? Didn't he just pass away?
Yeah. Huh?
Now, how about you, Cease? Your groups that you liked?
Oh man, Flamingos. Their harmony to me was like, phew. And matter of fact, when we were in Wildwood, they came to see us at this club. We were at the Beachcomber, and they were at another club down the street. And they came in, they checked us out, and they told us a few things. But Terry Johnson, I'm still talking to him a lot now too. But matter of fact, we did "Lovers Never Say Goodbye." We did a remake of that.
Yeah.
And
Terry Johnson.
Have you heard it by us?
Terry Johnson. He wrote that "Lovers Never Say."
He wrote it. Yeah.
But have you heard it by us? Have you heard it? Have you heard it?
We recorded it.
You did it?
Yeah, we did it.
I got to send it to you.
Yeah.
I got to send it to you. Let you hear that, man. And he liked it.
To me because I play all that stuff, man.
Okay, I'll get it to you definitely. I'll definitely get it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I said the Flamingos and wow, there's not too many harmony wise that I like, but they were like one of my favorites. Flamingos and the Platters.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember working with me with Pookie Hudson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we go way back, don't we?
We go back before dirt was made.
Yeah, we go way back, man. That's right. Yeah.
We used to come over, Jerry. Used to come over your house and play pool.
Right.
I don't know if you remember this, Jerry. We were going somewhere, and I had a Chevy. I had a 69. I can't remember 69 Chevy. It was yellow, and I was driving too slow for you. You took over. The cops came and was following us. They pulled us over, and you said, I'm going to my house." The cop said, "Follow me."
That's right.
Well, I just sat over there. I said,
"That's right."
I was just sitting. I said, "What are you going to do?"
We drank some wine. We shot some pool.
Yeah. Right. And we had one place we had the balcony in the back. Remember the Geator was running around.
And little Joe used to come over here a lot too. Remember little Joe and the Thrillers? I know you know.
He loved
you. He said, "Man," "I love that guy, man. That's my man, Jerry Blabbert. Yeah, the Geator."
Man, yeah. It's not, it's so unique. There's not too many DJs and people that we know from back in the day that we can still talk to like you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we came up together, and that's really unique, man.
But then you got to remember, see, a lot of them are not around now, too.
Right? Yeah.
I think you guys got to agree with me. The world we lived in will never be the same.
No.
The family, and it wasn't about race, color, creed. It was about human beings and the music that brought us all together. And guys, I think you got to agree, for this new year, we got to hope that people get together.
Yeah, I hope so.
One, regardless of race, color, or creed, we all have conscience. We know when you're doing something wrong, and do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's right.
And the music you guys created, music that all of our artists created brought us together.
Mhm.
I'm saddened that the music of today does not do that, guys.
Right.
Right.
That's the
right.
truth.
You're right.
That's the truth. They don't have anything to really go back on and listen to say, what was I doing when that song came out? Or
No
whatever the case
romantic
may
music.
be.
No
You know?
romantic music.
Yeah. No romance anymore.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
it.
everybody's shooting and cutting and whatever.
Cursing on the records and
Yeah,
calling,
yeah. It's crazy out here now, man.
different world.
Well, but listen to me. By the grace of God, with this new year coming, it is going to get better. And I think sometimes it's got to get worse before it gets better.
Right.
Sometimes you don't appreciate what you have until all of a sudden you don't have it any longer.
Right.
And God bless cats like you and all of the wonderful people. Dionne Warwick, Frankie Valli, Frankie Avalon, Gene Chandler, Kenny Gamble. And that's why I do what I do.
I'm thankful for you too, brother.
You know, Norm, that's important.
Yeah, definitely. But we got a show coming up with you this year too, don't we?
Most got memories.
Yeah. What the show is at? We'll be at the Grand in Delaware.
Yep, I'm doing that. And I'm going to have you guys with me at the Kimmel show. And, you know, we're going to do some things at the casino. We're going to be doing some things at the casino.
Okay.
So you guys will be with me. Eddie Holman's going to be with us.
Right. Okay.
I mean, all of our people that were part
right
of
on.
Okay.
Be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I got some questions here. Hold on.
Wait.
We've been talking so much. Some of the people have asked this. Okay.
Okay.
The finger snapping, we talked about that. Okay. This cat, his name is Roy Kaysen. He owns Memory Lane Records. He said he remembers you guys driving up in a Corvette Stingray to see Bernie Lowe at his home.
No, it probably was a Thunderbird. I had a Thunderbird.
Yeah, Thunderbird. Yeah.
It probably looked like a Corvette. It was cool, you know.
This was from someone said, if you cats would not have been singers, what would your occupation have been?
You know what I'm gonna say, Jerry?
The painter?
The painter.
The painter entertainer.
A painter entertainer.
That's what please tell the audience out there, if they're looking for a painter, they reach Norman, the Hollywood painter.
Look me up on the YouTube, Facebook or whatever. I'm a painter. Used to be a painter. I don't paint anymore. But I will paint if you got a nice price for me. I'll come and paint.
I think I would have been working. I'd still be retired from the post office because I was working at the post office at the time before I started singing. And I think I'd be retired by now at the post office, collecting that money.
You think you're retired? You would definitely be retired. You know how old you are, don't you?
Yeah, I got one coming up in March, Jerry.
How old?
March 17th. I'll be 80 years old, man.
Whoa, you're trying to catch up with the Geator.
I'm still a young guy in the thing. You know, I'm still a young guy.
That's because you're getting up on those scaffolds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as we look back, this young person said, who came up with the finger snapping for so much to love?
Well, that was me doing it on the record. That was me, but I can't snap my fingers now for some reason.
You got old hands, old fingers.
But you got it.
Wait, I just thought of something. On the original record of So Much in Love,
right?
There was someone saying something.
Oh, Billy Jackson. He was saying,
yeah.
We find ourselves in a world of our own.
Now, that version you people have never heard. You only heard this.
And the birds come true.
And the birds.
Yeah.
Right.
That was on the album. That was the album cut. That's why.
And the female on the record, you know who that was? Marlene Davis from New Orleans that did the high part.
The high part, yep. That was Marlene.
Yeah.
Boy, you know, you want to talk about a female group that really should have been big stars. I mean, they all sang lead at one time or another, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Rosetta,
Yeah.
Right.
Audrey, man, Marlene, you know, and Nat
Yeah.
Siegel, my manager, was managing them at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that Siegel.
You know,
Yeah.
as you look back, you guys are happy guys, man. You know, you really, and that's so important, man, because that keeps you whole, knowing that what you created is something that is unique. Unfortunately, I don't think it will ever be again, because we were family, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been friends a long time, man. You know, Norm and I, we go way back. We have our differences sometimes, you know, but we're brothers, you know. We just go through that. You know what I mean? I won't let nothing happen to him, and I don't think he'll let nothing happen to me. You know what I mean? We got each other's back.
I gotta think about that. See, wait a minute. No,
That's my man. That's my man.
You know, I miss the old man, Donald. You know?
Yeah, man. Me too. Me too. Him and I lived together for a while. You know, we stayed together. A matter of fact, I talked to his daughter the other day. You know, she was telling me how much she missed her father. You know, there.
How about George Williams? How about George? Huh?
George, man. Phew.
Yeah, we know he lived in London.
Yes.
For years and years and years. Then he came back here, and just so happened he passed away. You know, but we came together when he came when he was here.
You know who's living in London? Tommy Hunt.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I was over what's his name? The 3 Degrees manager. What's his name?
Richard Barrett.
Richard Barrett. I painted his house. Now back to the painting thing. And he called Tommy up while I was there. But he wasn't in London. He lived someplace else, like Australia, someplace like that at that time. It's been like 10 years ago, you know. So he's in London now.
So many of the greats that were part of. And Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen, has always been a part of the fabric, the neighborhoods growing up. As these guys said, the Dream Lovers, the Intruders, all were a part of a neighborhood. Frankie Avalon, Bobby Rydell. And I'm talking about the 4 J's with Junior, the Carlucci, you know, and going back with all these wonderful young people. And you know, I got to tell you guys were young. When you cats were hitting, I talk about Billy Carlucci, he was a kid. Junior, the 4 J's, they were kids. And how about the groups back then? Powell and the Prophets, Johnny Caswell, Danny Juniors. Philadelphia has a legacy. It's so wonderful.
I'm glad to be part of it.
When was the first time they were ever on TV?
Someone said, when was the first time the first time had to be on Bandstand when you were first time. When was the first time you ever on TV? But because So Much in Love.
Bandstand.
Bandstand, yeah.
I can't think of nothing. It's only, we were Philadelphia, so it was Bandstand.
Do you remember Mitch Thomas?
Yeah,
Mitch Thomas, right.
Yeah. That was my show.
Remember we did a John Zachary show too. Remember that? Years ago? And then, Jerry, didn't we do a New Year's Eve parade with you back in the day? I tried to tell you, Norman.
Wait,
but it's cloudy.
Also did with me when I did the Thrill Show.
The Thrill Show.
We remember the Thrill Show. I remember the Thrill Show. You know why? Because we sang Old Black Magic.
Yeah.
And they booed us.
We got booed off
Old Black. The thing about the black and the white was it's like having a problem and stuff at that time. So we sang Old Black Magic. And we bowed down and said,
and that's not the first time we got booed off the stage. Our first gig at the Apollo Theater, we got booed off the stage.
We had to walk off. That's what it was.
Man, that was terrible.
What song were you singing then?
On Broadway.
On Broadway.
The reason why the Drifters had just left there.
Yeah, the Drifters, Charlie and them. But what happened? We were out there. We didn't know anything about preparation. And what happened when we went out on the stage, we only saw one mic, right? And the band is vamping, bum, 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 and we walked around like a bunch of crazy guys looking for the other microphones. And what happened? I'm looking backstage, and the guy's telling me move back, and I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden my foot started moving, and a mic comes up out the floor. You know, the lead mic. Scared us to death, man. We got booed off, man. The guy came up, he said, hey, man, the Drifters just left here. I think you guys better leave that song alone.
You know who said it? You know who told us that? Honey Coles.
Honey Coles.
Coles
Yep.
and Atkins said that. We said, all right, you know, that was about it.
Oh, man, we getting booed off the stage. That was terrible.
Yeah. I know that Lynn Barry said to us, we act like we just met coming on stage. He said, you guys sing together? Yeah. You act like you guys just met when y'all walk up there. You don't know what you're going to do.
It'll be a lot of fun, though. It'll be a lot of fun.
Part of getting your act together. It's part of getting your act together.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you guys land on some songs?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, Like a Baby, Lip Sing, Somewhere, all of them, you know. Yep.
You know, in reality, you cats never really stop, whether you're recording a solo artist together or just doing backup. But
No. Matter of fact, David Guest, remember David Guest? You know,
yes.
We did a tour hit with him overseas, and so what happened? They call him the Elvis Presley of overseas, Richard something. We recorded a record with him.
Raul Donner.
Was it him?
George Goldner had a kid that they tried to make him Elvis Presley. Raul Donner bombed. I think. Yeah, that might be who it is.
Well, but the record never. We did an album, but us, Billy
never
Paul
came
was
out.
on
They
it.
never
Lee
released
Sharp was
it,
on
yeah.
it. Never came out. Yeah.
Geffen. Listen, that's big league.
Yeah, never came out.
Well, you know, he could write a book.
Hey, we can't name names. That's the only thing.
No, I can't name no names.
We can't name no names.
Listen, I did write a book.
I know.
Yeah. Did you name names?
Well, I named the ones that are dead.
Yeah, the ones that, right. You can't do that.
Oh my God.
Boy, it's so good talking to you, man. It really is. It really is. I can't wait to get back out there with you too.
Caesar, we're going to do it. And Norman, when you're not singing, please remember you got to sing with Caesar, and you got to come back dancing and singing again with me.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. No problem.
Listen,
Yep, no problem.
to you and your families, a safe, happy new year. And remember, when we say a prayer, let's just hope in that prayer that we say, God, let the world go back to some kind of normal.
Right on. Right on.
Together again, okay?
Right on.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
baby,
my
love
man.
Okay.
Keep on popping.
All right. Now, again, for you folks out there, I want to thank you for all of the years that we've been together. For me, it's just like with the rest of the artists. It hasn't been good because we live for an audience. I'm a people person. All of these wonderful people that we talk to, the performers, the Tymes, we need your energy to keep us going. It's tough, but we don't have it. But we're going to have it this year. Look to the future. You've got the vaccine. Look to the future where you will appreciate what we had back then, which we didn't have then, and we're going to have again.
Right on.
Thank you for being a part, 60 years of me doing what I'm doing. And for the people, my friends, the loved ones that we have lost, you may not be with us, but you will always be remembered with the music that I play. And when the artists sing songs, they remember because the lyric speaks for the things that are in our heart.
Right.
Well,
right.
Until next year, which is now this year, Happy New Year.
Same to you, my brother.
Same to you, baby.
Same to you. Thank you.
Happy New Year.